This case is so neat that I just thought I'd do one more video as I take a few more parts off of it, and we can really see some of the potential this case might have for liquid cooling and for other kinds of mods that you might want to do to it. So I'm going to show this accounted for. So I'm going to go back together after it's finished. Well, what's nice is the way Lian Li did this is that you can remove the hard drive caddy with 4 screws here on the bottom. Get these out. I think a case like this would look nice after it's powder coated with some nice CNC feed from MN's PC Tech. It makes the coolest parts you can find. They're expensive, but they're worth it. Okay, that's interesting. So that's. Let me see what else is still holding that to the case. Looks like to me you gotta take out 2 more. It's very neat how they designed all these little brackets. Minimum amount of material, do the most amount of work. That's just what I like to see in a case. So this looks like 6 screws will free up your hard drives. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Definitely. Well, that's going to be fun putting back in there without scratching anything, because it is very, very tight. Make sure it's completely, yeah, it's free, it's just tight. Let's see. Well, that's riveted, so that has to come up there. So, if you are going to try and remove your hard drive tray, your hard drive rack, be prepared for a battle royale. Yeah, that doesn't look like that's going to work until I unrivet the rest of the case. Let's see. Take a look. Let's just take a look and see what I can accomplish here without destroying anything. Oh, yeah. You got a couple things in your way. You've got the cable management thing that they put in there is going to be right in your way. I have to remove this anyway. So, to pinch those and push them. At least they're not just stuck on with adhesive like I've seen so many other times. This way you can just push it out to get it out of your way. So this is the clip. Got it on its side like this so I don't have to fight gravity to get this out. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Did make some scratches on the bottom, which I hate. I just hate that. I hate making scratches, but there's no way to get it out otherwise. Anyway, oh, the fan. Yeah. Here you have your 4 hard drive tray. Now when you take this out, what I'm seeing, depending on how big your power supply is, if you had a relatively short power supply, you might be able to shoehorn a 220 radiator right here. And you could be drawing in air from the case and blowing it out. Should work. Or you could reverse this fan and blow it out the front, whichever you want. Looks to me like there's enough height. We can check pretty easy with a 220 millimeter, 120 millimeter fan. Put it in there. So, let's say this was your 220 radiator with your fans. There's about this much distance, just enough for a radiator and a fan before you would start conflicting your cards, and depending on how low down your cards are on the motherboard slots, if your cards are up high, you'd have plenty of room. Cards down low, but you could easily put a 220 here. I mean a 240 radiator here. That looks good to me. That would work. That's one way you could do it. And you could just make vents on the side panel. Have a nice clean liquid cooled installation. Or I'm seeing here that you've got enough room for a thermo chill PA160 right here. It just looks like it's just made for it. It's one of the biggest radiators you can get in this form factor. Or you could put a 140 or a 120. I think a 120 would be ridiculous, it would be so small. But you could stuff some radiators in here without anything on the outside of the case, I'm pretty sure. You could put your hard drives in here and use adapters, and then there'd be a fan blowing over them. It's really nice. I'll just keep taking it apart here. I usually take everything apart when I get going on these. There's no sense in not seeing what you got. It's a beautiful case. I would say for anybody, whether it's even a gamer or your grandmother or somebody in an office or a designer, anybody might enjoy a case like this because it's got so many nice features, and it's probably very quiet once you get it all set up. We'll find out about that later. Another nice little fan. Again, these grommets are going to help keep the fans from vibrating, which is really neat. This is another thing that a lot of case modders do. I know I did, Bill did, is to put grommets anywhere there's a fan. It really makes a difference. Take off all these rubber parts because they're all going to have to be stripped anyway. No, it looks like I can take the top off without riveting it, which is really neat. I like to see that. Let's see what we have underneath here. I think we have some support rails under here to keep it stiff even without the top off, which is kind of neat. See, when you're modding a case, if you can remove the top, it's a beautiful thing because you can reach your hands down inside now and get at things that you couldn't otherwise get at, which is very handy when you're doing tight buildings with a lot of plumbing, or even if you just want to do some really neat cable management, or you want to be able to set up some lighting or something that's hidden. It's really neat to be able to take things apart and get at it. In a lot of cases this would be riveted, but anybody with a screwdriver that's wanting to do this kind of stuff at home, it'd be no big deal. It should just come right out now. Let's see how we go. They have it so it's kind of locked in there. Let's see what we got. If I can see how their system works and figure out what I got to do to get it around. I'm seeing that the rails are supported by it. Trying to see if this is something I'm going to... Yeah, you just have to spread it up over this. Okay. Let's get it on its side and take a good look. Yep, there's rails up inside, which is neat. Let me see what's holding it. Even though the top can be removed with screws, you're still going to need to drill out the rivets on these little brackets that guide the rails, because that's what's hitting. So it is, I mean, you could probably, if you were a nut, you could probably bend it off of it, which I think might be possible, just barely. You're careful enough to be able to do it without hurting the case. That would be a plus, huh? Yeah. Let's see, it does want to go. I think it's still hung up on that one part. You're not going to be able to get that apart without de-riveting it. So, that's something to learn there. Not real happy with how tight that